Okay, so let's just dive right into this. Picture this. It is 11 p.m., you're in the library. A student, let's call her Sarah, is just staring at that blinking cursor on a blank page. She's got this huge essay due at midnight. You know the deal. MLA format, 5 sources, the whole shebang. She's just exhausted. So, she opens up ChatGPT, just to get some ideas, right? Just to get unstuck.
So, like 15 minutes later, she's got 3 absolutely perfect paragraphs just sitting there on her screen. I mean, they're good, maybe a little too good. She highlights all the text, her mouse is hovering right over the paste button, and then she just freezes. Because deep down, she knows something is just not right. That exact moment, that feeling, that's what we're going to talk about today.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? When does a helpful tool cross that line into, well, into academic dishonesty? And the really tricky part is that with AI, it is so easy to plagiarize without even meaning to. That's the line we're here to figure out together.
Yeah, the heart of the issue is that we're all just trying to navigate these massive gray areas. The rules for AI are brand new, they're super confusing, and honestly, they can feel completely contradictory, depending on who you ask or what class you're in.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Your English professor might have a super strict no AI on essays rule. And that makes sense, right? In that class, your unique voice, your own argument, that's the whole point. But then you walk across campus to your computer science class, and your professor is telling you that you should be using tools like GitHub Copilot, because in the tech world, that's just industry standard. Your math professor probably hasn't even mentioned it. And all the while, AI is literally built into the programs you use every single day, like Microsoft Word and Grammarly. So where's the line? So to cut through all that confusion, what we really need is a clear framework. You know, a set of rules of the road that you can pretty much apply to any situation you find yourself in. And we've boiled it down to 5 main guiding principles for using AI responsibly.
So, what are these principles?
Well, think of them as your personal compass for navigating this really complex world of AI in school. They're going to guide you on everything from what the official policies are to the little ethical choices you have to make every day. So let's break them down.
First up, and you guys, this one is completely non-negotiable. You have to become an expert on your school's official policy. Think of your syllabus as the contract for the class. You gotta read the fine print. And if anything about AI use is even a little bit unclear, trust me, a quick, polite email to your professor can save you a world of stress down the road.
Second, you just gotta remember that the fundamental rules of school haven't changed. Plagiarism is and has always been presenting someone else's work as if it's your own. It really doesn't matter if that someone else is a person, a website, or a large language model. Submitting an AI-generated essay is basically just the 2024 version of copying and pasting from Wikipedia.
So the key takeaway here is to be transparent. If your professor says it's okay to use AI for certain things, don't try to hide that you used it. Just be honest about it. You know, professors really respect that kind of integrity, and they'll probably appreciate that you're trying to learn how to use these new tools in a responsible way. Okay, and this brings us to a really crucial distinction. Using AI to brainstorm some ideas, or maybe help you rephrase a clunky sentence, or even proofread your work, that's one thing. That's using a tool. But asking it to write your entire essay for you, well, that's just outsourcing your thinking, and that's where you cross a really serious ethical line.
And here's the last principle, and it's a great way to think about this. Think of AI like a calculator, but for writing. Right? A calculator handles all the boring arithmetic so that you can focus on the complex problem solving. In the exact same way, AI can handle some of the mechanics, like grammar or suggesting keywords, which frees you up to focus on the important stuff like critical thinking and being creative.
But, and this is a huge but, there's a massive pitfall you have to watch out for. So take this story of a student, we'll call her Emma. She asked an AI to find sources for her big research paper, and it gave her this perfect works cited page. The plot twist? 3 of those sources were completely fake. The AI just made them up. This is a thing called hallucination. So now Emma was facing an accusation of falsifying her sources, and she had no idea it even happened.
And those kinds of mistakes have very real consequences. Having an AI write your paper for you, that's called global plagiarism, and it's a really severe offense. Even just using fake sources, like what happened to Emma, can fall under categories that lead to failing the assignment, failing the whole class, or even worse. The stakes here are incredibly high.
Okay, so we've covered the dangers, but I promise it's not all doom and gloom. The real key here is a mindset shift. Instead of seeing AI as like a substitute for your brain, what if you started thinking of it as your own personal study partner? You know, just consider the difference between these 2 prompts.
A bad prompt is basically asking the AI to do the work for you. It's a total outsourcing of your thinking. A good prompt, on the other hand, asks the AI to help you think. It's like a launchpad for your own analysis. One is cheating, the other is just smart research.
So here are some really powerful ways you can use it. Feeling stuck? Ask the AI to brainstorm some topics. Don't get that dense chapter in your textbook? Ask it to explain the concept in simpler terms. Want to test your knowledge before a big exam? Ask it to create some practice problems for you. In every single one of these cases, you're still the one doing the learning, you just have a powerful assistant helping you out. And now, for the hard lines you should never, ever cross. Never, ever just copy and paste. Don't put any personal information into a public AI chat. And definitely do not use those humanizer apps to try and hide AI writing. That's really just being dishonest about being dishonest.
All right, let's get into some of the technical details. Two big questions always seem to come up. What's the deal with grammar checkers? And if I am allowed to use AI, how in the world do I cite it?
Using a grammar checker can actually be a bit of a slippery slope. A basic spell check? Totally fine. That's low risk. But when you start accepting suggestions that completely rewrite your sentences and change your meaning, you're wandering into medium-risk territory. And then, using a built-in feature to generate a whole paragraph? That's high risk, and it will almost certainly be flagged as AI-generated content.
So if your professor does give you the green light to use AI in some specific ways, transparency is still the name of the game. And luckily, both MLA and APA have already established official formats for citing generative AI. Just take a second to look at these examples. Following these formats is a simple, honest way to show your academic integrity. Okay, so as we start to wrap up, let's put everything we've talked about together into one final actionable checklist. This is what you should ask yourself every single time you even think about using AI for school. First, check the syllabus, then ask your professor, then ask yourself, maybe the most important question of all, what skill is this assignment actually trying to teach me? Then use AI to help you learn that skill, not to just get around it. Always verify everything the AI tells you. And finally, the ultimate test. Could you explain your final work in your own words to someone else? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. You're golden.
And let's just end with this thought. College isn't really about getting the right answers. It's about building the skills to find them. AI is an incredible tool, for sure, but it can't replace your effort, your curiosity, or your voice. Those things are still 100% human, and in the end, they're what really matter.